Greetings, Rebel fans. My name is Jason Kelly. This is the Let's Run podcast. I want to welcome you all to the show today. We have an awesome show for you. I am pleased and honored to welcome on Ricky White, UNLV star wide receiver, to the podcast. Ricky is one of the most beloved Rebels, certainly of my lifetime. Just a guy that's oozed loyalty and a dedication to the program. I'm absolutely thrilled to have him on, and we talk about some really cool stuff. Before we get into that, a great week of Rebel sports coming up for you guys. First, on Wednesday, UNLV basketball will go up against a Pepperdine team that UNLV actually played last year. Then on Saturday, UNLV will take on New Mexico State. That's at home. That will be a great game. That will be one of the only, if not the only, home games that I missed this year. I'm pretty bummed about that, but I will be watching. I'm heading down to Arizona for the Arizona State BYU game. So sadly, I will not be able to watch that one at the Thomas and Mack, which is a big bummer because that's a pretty good opponent. New Mexico State, certainly not a rollover. But first, the UNLV will take on Pepperdine on Wednesday. A Pepperdine team that has a guy averaging 29 points a game, actually. If you look at Pepperdine, Alonzo Fore, he's a big guy, and the Rebels are going to have their hands full guarding him, the running Rebels. Then on Friday, UNLV football will travel up to San Jose, California, to take on the San Jose State Spartans. That should be an excellent game. San Jose is a team that can really throw the ball, really sling it around. So expect full coverage, a nice preview podcast, hopefully some Twitter clips, although those kind of take a little bit more time than I have at the moment. But we are in for an incredible game on Friday night. First, I am honored to have Ricky White join the show. I'm going to bring him on. We did a little call. We have the file here, so I'll play that for you guys. And then we will continue the Let's Run podcast. But again, just thanks, Rick, for jumping on. And let's jump into my conversation with UNLV star Ricky White. All right, Rebel fans, I am pleased and honored to have on the one, the only Ricky White. He has become our favorite Rebel in a long time online. I know that, we all love him. We all appreciate him, the loyalty and dignity that he's shown to this program. So I'm happy to have you on, Ricky. Thank you so much for coming on to the Let's Run podcast. How are you doing today?
Doing great, man. How about you?
I'm just happy you guys picked up a great win. It's good to beat San Diego State. I'm really happy with the year so far. And, you'd love to win a couple of games, but 8-2, I mean, that's a great achievement for this program, and there's still a lot left to achieve. So I know that the fan base is really happy with you guys right now.
Good.
So I want to welcome you onto the show, and I want to talk to you a little bit about NIL. NIL's obviously changed how college athletes can profit off of their name, image, and likeness. And we got the word that you have done an awesome NIL kind of deal with the company Saks Underwear. So I haven't seen a lot of deals with underwear companies. So what did it feel like to kind of hook up with this company? It's really big, really popular. How did it feel when you kind of got this deal?
It was very exciting. Saks is very game changing, and so am I on the field. So we definitely had the correlation there. And I'm definitely excited to just be a partnership with them.
Yeah. And I also saw that this is something Max Crosby is also involved with this. Kind of how is he involved and what was your reaction when because I think he chose you, right? Isn't that how it worked?
Right. So Max is a partnership with Saks. He's also a legend here in Las Vegas. People in Vegas love him. He's one of the greatest to play for the Las Vegas Raiders. And I thank him so much for choosing me. It's crazy because he chose Terry Lockett also, and I was one of my former teammates at Michigan State. So, it's just crazy how things work, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Because the Raiders have had their struggles this year, but he's kind of to me, he's like the face of the Raiders right now. He's kind of the guy.
Yeah, he's a dog, man. I feel like he went out his way to choose some dogs too, man. So it's a great fit.
Yeah, like what are your impressions of the product? So, oh, did I lose Ricky? Hello? Hey, Tim, go ahead. So what is your impression of Saks? I mean, I can tell you that I personally worn them. What's the product like to you? Is it something that you wear when you're training, or what do you like about it?
And Saks is really an everyday type of wear underwear, man. I really enjoy wearing them. The best part of them is the ballpark pouch. Their underwear is very comfortable. You can wear it training, just walking around the house, going to work, anywhere. So I wear Saks really every day. I wake up, so that's the best part about them,
Yeah, I can tell you that I run marathons and half marathons, and I exclusively wear Saks when I run. So
man.
when I was told about this, I was like, oh my gosh, I mean, this is a product that I love too. And so I'm really happy they chose you because I think that you're a great athlete that kind of represents kind of like the it's not really like there's expensive underwear, but what I like about it is it's kind of just an everyday like go to work kind of thing.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Yeah, but NIL deals are really cool. I've been, so I'm a law student at UNLV. I do this just because I don't make any money off of the Let's Run podcast. I just want more people talking about the Rebels,
Hmm.
and I've been really glad with like the way that NILs kind of come into college sports because people deserve to be compensated for their name, image, and likeness, and it's really good that these young athletes are getting compensated. But like when it comes to approaching NIL, you can see, especially with even the Rebels this year, there can be some interesting kind of weird dynamics. There can be egos. There can be, if you were talking to like a young 18-year-old who's looking at Ricky White right now, who's making great deals with companies like Saks, and you could give them advice on how to approach mentally NIL during their college career, what would you tell them?
I would definitely say production comes first. Worry about producing on the field, and all the deals will come. Really, that would be my best advice. Is just really being locked in on the field. Don't worry too much about NIL and the deals that come to you. Your first mindset should be school, really, and just locking in on football. And I feel like if you take care of those two things, everything will come the right way it should.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think about when you were recruited. So you started out your career at Michigan State. I remember when we got you, I went back and I watched that game you had against Michigan, and I was losing my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy. You're a full grown man now, but like back then, we
Right.
didn't know kind of what you were going to become. And I remember kind of losing my mind. But it's crazy to think about how much college sports have changed since you started
Exactly.
to what they are now. And so, what would you say has been like the hardest, or how would you say that you've approached that change from becoming from the way that you were recruited to where college sports is now?
I would really say is my mental and just really the way how I view football. I feel like this is really my life. And it's a job. I'm so thankful to have the God given talents that I have to be able to play the sport that I love every day. And I just give so much passion and just, so much hard work into my craft. Therefore I could be the best at, what I do. So like I said, I'm just thankful for it all, and I'm gonna continue to work hard at what I do. Therefore, everything will take care of itself.
Yeah. So going to kind of like the way how the team is right now, that's a great win versus San Diego State. I thought they threw probably one too many flags, honestly. Felt
It is
like they were trying to slow down the game.
right.
You kind of, I know you got dinged up a little bit. I think you're okay because you came back in and are playing again. But how are you feeling physically, and how's your body at this? Late into the season, it can get tough with the
Right.
physical toll. How are you feeling?
At the end of the day, it's football. Everybody plays a 12 amount of games in regular season, so I'm pretty sure everybody's banged up. But it just really comes down to being consistent, take care of your body every day, trying to die down on the nicks and bruises, getting treatment, stretching before and after practice. So I'm doing well, man. It's football at the end of the day. I'm blessed to be able to wake up and play the game that I love every day. And I'm sure everybody else on the team has the same mindset as me.
Yeah, I've always wanted to ask, because I haven't done a ton of interviews yet with because my podcast is still growing, but like after you've taken an absolute beating, because I know the other team's looking out and trying to put you down each game.
Right.
What is like how do you like physically like rehab like for the 24 hours after a game ends? Like what's your routine generally?
My routine, right after the game, I might come home and take an Epsom salt bath. Well, first of all, I'm sorry. After the game, we always ride back to the vicinity, whether it's a home or away. So I definitely get a stretch in, hop in the cold tub, and then when I get home, I take an Epsom salt bath. Might use a massage gun before I go to sleep. And then that next morning, we always have a stretch and stride, which consists of stretches and then, consists of 8 strides across the field that just gives the body, allows it to just feel good, really. And then we come back in and might do like hurdles, and a couple things with hurdles. So I feel good, man. My body's always, it allows me to reset. Therefore, the following week, like Monday, I feel back to normal. I might have a little bruise, but throughout that week, I keep going to treatment for that, and they'll come about before game day, I'll be fine.
Yeah. Would you say that like that is because I've heard this before when I've talked to other people that have played, at the level, obviously, you're playing at a very high level, but at the college football level, would you say that that's like one of the most underappreciated like points of like recovery and like treating your body well after games? Because I feel like I see these stories of these guys that don't take care of themselves physically, and it ends up hurting them in the long run.
Most definitely. Yeah. If you don't take care of your body, it would definitely catch up to you. That's one of the priorities you have to be consistent and a great player, at this level and at the next level.
Yeah. So you guys have San Jose State coming up. Short weeks. What's the different kind of? Because some people underestimate just how big of a difference that one day makes. So what's the difference in? And you guys have gotten hosed, in my opinion, uh, with all of the. All good, yeah, it's good, man. I got you. With all of the short week games you guys have had, like, what's the difference in like preparing for a game in 4 days versus 5 days? Like, what would you feel like changes?
I would definitely say Coach Odom does a great job of allowing us to recover. Whether it's he might take out some reps during that first week, like a Monday when we come back after a Saturday game or a Friday game. So, really just allowing us to get our bodies back right. Therefore, we're come game day, we're very fast and physical. So he does a great job of just doing that thing throughout the week.
And traveling to a place like San Jose State, their stadium's a little. I don't know. Have you ever played at San Jose State? Did you play
He
there?
did my first year here, 2022 season.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd stadium because
It
and I
is.
think this is pretty recent, but they like got rid of half of their
Right.
stadium.
Yeah, they did. So when I
And
was there, when we went there 2022, they were doing construction on the whole stadium. And now I guess it's finished. So behind our bleachers or our side of the field, I think it's like they have like a grass hill, and then it's only stands behind each touchdown and on their side of the bleachers. So yeah,
yeah,
it's definitely a new stadium.
well, I was listening to some of the Boise people talk because they just went and played there, and they said that there's thinking of there going to be some rain. There might be some inclement weather during this game, some wind situations going on. Do you feel? And obviously, each game's an individual game, but like I remember how you guys finished last year in that San Jose State game. Uh, I think there was some physical issues. You guys were a little beat up at that point, but how do you? This is kind of your next stop on the revenge tour, as you could say. What's kind of your feeling about kind of avenging how you guys finished last year going into the San Jose game?
It's crazy that you asked that because throughout the building, we have been emphasizing the word finish, throughout the season, just because we didn't finish the right way we did, the right way we wanted to last year. San Jose is one of those teams that you can't sleep on. They're a good team, and we feel good going into this week. You know, and we're going to be well prepared. Body's feeling good. And, we're going to execute come Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, the end of a long season, I think that there's so much off time in college football that it can be kind of tough to realize just how long a season is for the players. Um, but what would you say is like Do you feel like the coaches have been putting this finish, like, because I feel like they've been talking about this since before the season even started. I feel like I've been hearing from Coach Odom,
Yeah,
and publicly that he's like, we're going to win in November, and he was talking about this in July.
right
Would you say that's been an emphasis from the beginning?
from the beginning, like from the first day, being January 17th when we came back from after our last game in December 28th at the Guarantee Rate Bowl. So, you know, we all knew that we didn't want to finish the way we wanted to. So therefore, it was um, our best fit to just be able to just finish the right way this year, and that all comes with the little things like keeping our habits, and I feel like if we do that, everything's going to take care of itself for sure.
Yeah, one thing that I wanted to ask you about, just because I don't want to keep you too long, and I know you're a busy guy, but the special teams thing. So, like, you've been playing on and off special teams. Like, this isn't something completely new for you,
Sure.
but I know that what I've kind of realized is that this is such a great thing for you to, obviously you're focused on the here and now, but being shown that you're multifaceted in different parts of the game gives you such a better opportunity at the next level because
Sure.
it shows that you're not a one-trick pony. You can do lots of different things. So what do you do preparing for special teams? Like what would you say is your mindset with special teams? Why you've become a madman at blocking punts? It's my favorite thing in the world. So how has that changed this year? Because this is kind of new in a sense of just the amount of production that you're doing.
Right. Man, I just want to, give my team any chance to win, man. I feel like if I'm on special teams, that percentage of winning goes up, for my team and myself. So, I think Coach Steve. Coach Steve is our special teams coordinator. He does a phenomenal job of just preparing us, teaching us the correct things, the techniques. Like I said, I want to thank him and the other players that are on special teams because I feel like we all just buy into the culture. We give our 110% on each play, each down, which allows us, to win games. Really, because special teams is a very important, play in each game. So
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty neglected by a lot of teams.
that's
I think you look around the Mountain West and you see a lot of teams that could have wins on their schedule if they just put more emphasis on special teams.
right.
Uh, but do you enjoy like do you set a goal like before every game? Are you like I'm blocking a punt today? Is that something that goes through your mind?
It's always my mindset, literally.
Yeah, because I think you're at four now or at five, four,
I'm
three.
so I'm at 4. I would have 5, but the Syracuse game, the punter pulled one away, and we got a tackle for loss. So I'm at 4 right now. I lead the country in block punts.
That's the coolest thing ever. I always tell because I always go on fans podcasts, San Diego State or I've gone on Boise State podcasts or whoever we're playing, Fresno State. And every game I'm like, you guys watch out. Ricky White's coming for you. Like
Yeah,
he's coming.
I'm pretty sure I get game plan every week. Like this past weekend, every time we'll run out on the field for punt return, they key me, point me out to get blocked. So it's fun. It's exciting to be out there and just like I said, I want to give my team any chance to win. And I want to be a factor.
Yeah. And certainly when you do things on the margins, I mean that makes a big it makes a big difference. So two more questions and then I'll let you go. Obviously, the conference race is on everybody's minds. I know you guys are game by game. Is it difficult not to look at the standings, not to look at what's going on with Colorado State and a chance to get back at Boise again? Is that difficult to keep shielded? I mean, when you guys, I'm sure you guys are on Twitter sometimes or on whatever.
Right.
What's your strategy for that? And what do you tell the younger guys on the team that look up to you? How do you keep them focused on your opponent?
So it definitely is, but right now, I mentioned earlier, we're really focused on finishing the season. Winning these last 2 games. Coach brings up in the team meeting every day. Teams who win in November will be remembered, and that goes a long way with not just me, but all the guys on the team, whether it's from old to younger. And I feel like we have taken real good real good steps into that direction. Right now, we're 2-0 in November. We have 2 more games. So, like I said, our main focus right now is just finishing going, 1-0 each week, finishing off November strong, which gives a chance to, have a rematch against Boise in Mountain West Championship game. From there, showcasing that, we're capable of being in that 12-team playoff.
Yeah, I think that's the mindset, and I hope that you guys can do it. I know that I personally say a prayer every Sunday uh, that the standings will shake out pretty well, because I want to see that rematch versus Boise, and I'd love to see you guys, wherever you play them. I'd love to see that, but obviously, you got to take it week by week.
Right.
So the last thing I wanted to ask you before we close this out was, what do you? Because it's interesting. I think that you have established yourself kind of as a rebel. We're gonna remember you, man. I'm gonna be in this fan base for my entire life. I'm gonna be covering this team for my entire life. Because that's just what I love to do. The only reason I do this is because I want this city, I want this program, I want football and basketball, all of it. I want it to blow up and become as big as I know it can be.
Right.
So, what kind of legacy, or what kind of, if you could, talk to Rebels 10 years down the road, say they bring you into the locker room, what would your message be to them about the potential of this program, what UNLV football can be, and what do you hope to leave behind?
So first of all, I want to say that this is a great university. I love this school. I want to be in no other place other than UNLV. We have a great staff, great community, great fans, great support system. The youth is phenomenal here. Facilities, you can't go wrong with. We play in a Allegiant Stadium. That should give you motivation every day. Waking up, we play in the NFL stadium. Fertitta is I don't even know. It's a multi-million-dollar,
World class.
Literally. So it's a great facility. We have everything, that we need here. Las Vegas is one of the best cities in America. So, you can't go wrong being here at UNLV. You have everything that you could possibly ask for. And, a legacy that I want to leave here is just being, one of the best to play at this school. I want to be known for that. One of the best receivers, one of the best players, all-around players, one of the smartest guys, one of the best effort-giver players, So that's really what I want to, give back to this community. I'm thankful, to be here in this position right now.
Yeah, well, I know that the community and the Twitter space, we don't get a chance very often because we're not a part of, the Fox or the Vegas Sun or the Review Journal. But I just, on behalf of all the burners, want to say thank you. Appreciate what you do, man. Appreciate the work you put in.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad that you got this. This Sachs partnership is a great thing, and I hope that future Rebels can kind of follow your lead and team up with companies like that. But that's all I had. So thank you so much for coming on, man. Appreciate you, Ricky. And go get San Jose, all right?
Sir, thank you for having me, Jason.
Yeah. All right, fans. So that was my interview with Ricky White. Ricky's in a position where he does a ton of interviews. And so you can tell he's a professional, a consummate professional who shows up and really gives it his all on and off the field. So on behalf of all the burners, on behalf of UNLV Twitter space, thank you to Ricky White for jumping on the podcast. So the schedule for this week will be we'll talk about basketball probably tomorrow to preview the Pepperdine game. I'll talk about football on Thursday, and I'll also recap what happened in the Pepperdine game. And then on Friday, I will probably do the post-game show as a Burner Brigade podcast live on Twitter. And then Saturday, we will go live if Colorado State loses. If they don't lose, then it's going to be pretty tough for us to get a rematch against Boise. But that's kind of what I'm thinking for the week. Lots of prep, lots of things to talk about heading into these important games. Big opportunities for football and basketball this week. So I want to thank you guys all for checking out the show today. Please go give Ricky a follow on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever. And just spend a good week with your family. Get ready for a huge weekend in Rebel Sports. And I appreciate you all. And let's run.